grandmother as an orb, but in fact, my grandmother in real life was an insect. So it was good. It was like it was a win-win. I got all kinds of pictures of my grandmother as an insect, so why not have her fly around the graveyard?
Oh my goodness. And the thing is, during your lecture, you present it as, yeah, I caught an amazing picture here, and here's my grandmother, and then you see an orb. And then you're like, here's a picture of what my grandmother looked like when she was alive. And you show a picture of a fly. And everybody started laughing. It was so funny.
Yeah, it's what we try to do here. We call the family stew, the paranormal stew. We do it here at the house here. We don't make fun of certain people. We just make fun of what we do. Because our theory in life is, you're packing up your equipment at the end of the night, you're tired and everything, and that's when something happens. So our theory is maybe the ghosts just kind of want to hang out and laugh instead of being bombarded with questions, which is also okay, and so we just go to places and we hang out with ghosts, and a lot of the times, especially if we're naked, we do a lot of naked investigating out here. We get, touched in our bathing suit areas and stuff. It's good.
That's awesome, because you know what? I always remember you telling me, that relying on too many equipment is the worst thing you can do, because when you have so much equipment, the minute you're looking at your K2, your RAM pod, all your equipment, your new camera, that detects like stick figures and stuff like that, you're not paying attention to what goes on around you.
Right. You're too busy looking down at a screen. And here's the thing. I worked with a guy, and I love George. I mean, not George. I love this guy so much, but he carried so much equipment that the noise he made from his commitment banging together, we thought it was ghosts. So we're following him around thinking he's got an attachment. But really, it's all this crap banging together. The fact is that your body is your best piece of equipment. God knows it. Everybody knows it. And so why not utilize it, man? So when you walk into a place, breathe, feel, look. If you're looking down at your screen, there's a good chance something's poking around on your shoulder, and you will never know it, unless you have the camera pointed at yourself, which is 90% of the paranormal investigators that want to get on TV.
Yeah, exactly. And also something that really struck me in your lecture, as funny as it is, it struck a chord with me, because most of the things, were presented like in a funny way, but at the same time, it at its points, and you wanted to get your point across, and you did on many, many points, and one of them is EVPs. And EVP sessions is always the same thing, and when you said you never heard a good EVP until someone else told you what he heard, it's so freaking true. And then you're like, okay, let's play an EVP, and then you hear like, rah, 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 rah. And then somebody goes saying, hey, it said, my name is Joe. Oh, yeah. That's exactly what, my name is Joe. And 90% of the time, it's totally gibberish, like absolutely impossible to understand, right?
Yeah, and I don't like when someone says, I'm not going to tell you what it is. You tell me what you heard. And I'm like, don't put me on the spot like that, because it sounds like blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to tell you, it sounds like blah, blah, blah. Or make up something like, that sounds like Dom doing his videos. I mean, you make up, I don't like put on the spot like that, because it's all elevator music until somebody sings,
That's so true. I remember, just watching sometimes episodes of Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, and then you're like, oh my God, I think I heard this. And then, they go like, oh, this is what it said. And then your mind plays tricks on you sometimes, And it's always good to have many people, debunking like, okay, this is what I think I heard. I'm not going to say it. Guys, try to find out what it is. If 5 members of your team come up with the same thing they think they heard, then you might be onto something, right?
It's true, and I think I played a song, I'm not sure if I played my ukulele or not, but there is 4 chords you can play it over and over again. Play the same 4 chords over and again, and everybody in the room is going to hear a different song until you start singing. And once you start singing, they're like, oh yeah, that's that song. And they're just the same 4 chords repeated over again. Hundreds of these songs. So, I think I did that on my presentation, I'm not sure, but and that's so true. A lot of tour guides will do that. You're going to a location, you're going on a tour, and he says, before you go in the next room, you might get sick, so there's a bucket in the corner if you want to throw up. I've seen people throw up because that guy said in the next room. So when we're led in, and that's good, tour guides should always do that. I think it's awesome. But when we're led into a situation and we're explaining something, and it's almost like buying a used car, is because you're kind of leery about it, and until the car runs, you're like, okay, cool. And a lot of times people just want to get past it. You know, I had a guy in New Orleans go, here, I want to show you my sizzle reel. And I go, okay, first of all, that word should never be in your vocabulary as a paranormal investigator. But I watched your sizzle reel, and it was just nothing but blah, blah, blah. And I didn't know, I wanted to escape. I didn't know which way to turn. I was trying to find a way out because it just kept sounding like the same thing. But he would write on the screen, whatever, the preamble or the Constitution or whatever, you know. Hockey scores. I don't know. But whatever it is, until he said it, you know, and then I'm just halfway through this way too long sizzle reel. I just want to get away, you know. So, and I love you. If you know who you are, I didn't mean to be a jerk about that. And he probably is because he's on your show. No, I'm kidding. So it's all vague. You make up your own assumptions. Make sure you're not doing any damage. Don't hurt anybody in the process, and including the other side. And have a good time, man. And if you don't understand a piece of equipment, if you don't understand a K2 meter, don't use it. Use a compass. It's the same thing. A $5 compass does the same thing as a K2 meter. Use it, you know. And that's all our group uses. We don't use K2s and stuff. So if you can't take it apart and put it back together, you probably shouldn't be using it. And God, please read the manuals that come with these things, you know.
That's so true. I agree, Scott, 100%. And you know what? When I started investigating when I was younger, I make sure to buy everything, you know, like the new Obelisk 15, the new Ghost Box 27. But the thing is now, most of the time I go to an investigation with my Ghost Box, my audio recorder, and my cell phone, and that's it. And I still catch pretty good stuff because you know what? I don't have to worry about, oh, I'm going to place this infrared camera here. I'm going to place this here. Motion detector there. Make sure, and then you spend your time worrying your teammates might stumble into one motion detector or this or that. And why spending? If you go to a location for 8 hours and you spend 2 hours putting up your equipment, then 2 hours putting them back in their box, then you lose 4 hours that you could have been investigating, right?
Right. Every minute's precious. When you have the opportunity, or actually the honor, to be allowed into a place where people have passed away and they're still present. Unless you're filming a TV show, carry your stuff. I know a girl that lives in Reno that has she has like a tool belt she got at Home Depot. Everything fits in there. Everything fits in there. She got all her stuff. And people were laughing at her, like, look at her tool belt and everything. And those are the people that are setting up and tearing down. While they were setting up and tearing down, she got some most incredible things that I've ever seen on film. Of course, she doesn't put it on Facebook because for obvious reasons. But it's amazing how people like. Now there's those gadget guys. I love them. I love gadget guys. But I'll let them do their thing, and I'll do mine. Again, setting up and tearing down causes a lot of noise. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of things going on there. You're running wires through people's haunted locations and stuff. You're wasting your precious time with the other side. It's an honor to be there and utilize that time as best you can.
That's so true. You know, and when you talk about investigating naked and stuff like that, that's totally out of the box. And you know what? We should do more experiences like that because the moment you start, you know, I always say, you know, you talk to people in real life. You know, there's some people you're going to be able to get a good connection with by making jokes. Other people, if you start joking, they'll just turn around and just leave, you know. Other people, you have to be like almost like kissing their ass to get them to talk to you. That's the kind of people I don't like. But I mean, it's the same thing with spirits. You can't use the same, okay, this is how I ask my questions and then I'm going to have results every time. No, you have to adjust. I always say, you know, you go to investigation with minimum preparation, but you got to be open to anything and let the investigation lead you, not lead, okay, now we're going to spend 1 hour here, 1 hour there, 15 minutes here. Why? Because if you start getting interaction at 55 minutes, you leave in 5. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, it's a trip. You ever overproduced a show? I know you have. I have too. Well, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to have music at this moment, you have all that kind of stuff. This is going to come in, we're going to do the intro, we're going to show so-and-so's thing. It becomes so overproduced that it just becomes it's like when a painter keeps painting a painting, and next thing you know, he's just got a big brown square. We got to let them usher us through this. We get to the other side. You don't have to be psychic to do this. Walk in on a location and feel it, man. You know, if they want to talk to you, they're going to eat you, man. They're going to take care of you. They're hosts. And as in life, so in death, people that were like really crappy in life, they're probably really crappy on the other side. But 90% of the people I meet on a daily basis are nice people. And, you know, on the other side, I like to figure that they are as well. I'm not going to ridicule them, and I'm not going to do whatever. And I just want to hang out with them. You know, I want to hold hands with the little dead girl. I want to embrace the other side. So going in there as kind of a jerk or whatever, you know, you're not going to get nothing. Now going in naked, we've done this naked thing quite a few times now. I think we're in our 22nd time we've done this, and they made it to television. Of course, they made it to the Travel Channel and a couple other things and the local news. The fact is that everybody wants to see people naked. I don't care how religious you are, but on the other side, it's like, well, no one's going to judge me. I'm already here, and we've done that. You know, we've done a lot of naked stuff, and it's really true because it's not really a sexual thing as more as it is a vulnerability thing. You know, you're standing there naked with a group of people you just met, and you're going into a haunted location, very dark. It's, you know, you don't get aroused or nothing. It's just like vulnerable, and that vulnerability is a serious energy. Just like being happy or sad or mean or shitty, they're all energies. But everybody that walks in that room, except for this one chick I met, everybody has that same energy. They're kind of feeling vulnerable right now. They're like really not, you know, too comfortable with it. That's a serious energy, an energy that I believe that they can feed off of. Now, being naked, we've got a lot more cool stuff than we have with our clothes on. That doesn't mean that, you know, I'm like girls want to see me naked. It's not like that. The fact is that it's because we create the haunting. The haunting comes within the investigator. The investigator creates the haunting. There's stuff there, okay? We know there's energy there. We go in as gangbusters and be weird. We're so convoluted in our brains that we're going to find something haunted. Oh my God, everything's haunted or whatever. We lose that inner thing that feeds the other side. So when you bring people with you, and you got a jerk, that's okay. You can have a jerk in the group. You can have the whore, you can have the hot chick in the group. You know these people, but everybody has to come to the understanding that the haunting comes within the investigator. So we're not faking anything, but we're going in there open-minded, quiet, nice, friendly, funny. Something's going to happen, naked, whatever. Something's going to happen, man. Could I see groups go in and then they put on Facebook, this place isn't haunted, I've been there once. Well, you know, you may have been there in skin, but you weren't there in soul. So just know that, well, I kind of like what I'm saying here. I'm almost making it up as I go, but I like it. but it's kind of true, you know?
It is, Scott. And Scott, you know, the one thing, talking to you in SoundCon 2 years ago, and when we did the podcast, I realized that you've been like almost everywhere. You've been to a lot of places, yeah. And being in California, it gives you the chance to investigate the less known locations that are always on TV, like Penner's, Eastern State, because you had the chance to go to the places in Nevada, in Arizona, ghost towns, places I visited before my days as investigator. I can't wait to investigate, you know, ghost towns in Arizona and Utah. I've been to Tombstone before my days as an investigator. I wish I can go back tomorrow and investigate this place. But you've been to many locations, but there's one place that you gave me the chills when you told me your story about, because it's a Halloween podcast. So you told me about an experience, creepy one, probably the creepiest one you've ever had. Maybe not, but you'll tell me, in Mexico. I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about, something that happened to you and your team. Can you tell me what happened? First of all, when it was the investigation and how it happened and what happened once you got there?
Okay, you're going to have to give me, because I got like 10 from Mexico. I don't know if it was the one with the dead kid. I mean, I don't know which one you're going to have to tell me now. I don't remember which one. But I'll tell you one that's really creepy that came from Mexico, that we did an old church in Mexico. We flew down there, and everybody was getting really sick down there. We haven't eaten the food or anything yet, you know. We get to this place, and these people spoke perfect English, and they took us in cloaks, and we went out and we did the ceremony. Is that the one where we put the dead animals and stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we were invited. Do not bring guns, do not bring cameras, do not bring phones. You just bring you. It's an honor to be here. You can come and be a spectator. And I'm like, okay, cool. So we get down there, and everybody speaks English. And we get down there, and they say, okay, you're in the outer circle. So we watched these people sacrifice this animal. Then we watched them burn $100,000. They burned it. Okay. Wow. And we're just tripping. We're watching these people burn this money, okay? And we're like, okay, this is cool, I guess. I don't really know. But all the people that were the inner circle, there's like 8 of them, all their kids are Ivy League students. They're all very, very wealthy people because they worship this demon, okay? Now,
Holy cow.
we freaked, okay? We're like 2 steps backwards. They said the name. I don't care. It's your hot rock. You can say it. That's all bullshit about not saying a demon's name. But we take a couple steps backwards, like, we're out of here. We're leaving. Car wouldn't start. We couldn't get out of there. Okay, so we got a ride in this van, okay? We get halfway down the road. The guy turns around and says, this is it. And we're like, what? So they let us out of the van. We get out of the van. We're in Mexico. There's no lights here. It's dark as hell. We're saying, like, we start hearing noises from the bushes. Now, these aren't like animal noises. These are like people making animal noises, okay? So we're running, okay? We're booking. We finally get a lift in this truck, okay? And we're like, I'm in tears almost, okay? They take us right back to that place where they had the sacrifice. So we get there and they say, we just need a little hair or blood or something like that from you. And we're like, we're done, okay? We're done. I am absolutely done with this. We're wrapping here. You know, we don't have a gun. We don't have a phone. We don't have we don't have anything. We have no way to contact the other side. So, because I'm so stupid, this guy goes, well, I'll tell you what, we'll take 2 of you, we'll take you to the door where the hell's at, and if you guys come down to this cave and lock yourselves in for an hour, we'll let everybody else go. And it was almost a hostage situation, and so, okay, so we go out to this place, and I go, and Jesus goes with me, and we go down, and they open this door, and we get inside, and there's blood all over the walls, and we sat in there, and both of us started choking, and it was like, there's something in there with us. It's extremely terrifying. We're both like 3-year-old girls now. We're just in tears. This is just too much for us. And next thing you know, they're opening the door, and there's our car, and there's our truck, and everybody's, hello, good. Okay, for the next following 6 months or whatever, extremely ill. I mean, diagnosed with diabetes, fatty liver, heart issues, all this stuff, man, in my life. I went to a guy, he's passed away now, of course, a religious guy, he was on TV, and he did something to me, and I went to the doctor, and he said, you're clear. So that just shows me that there's something else involved in this whole deal. Okay, flash forward, okay? Let's flash forward. I'm in a Walmart, okay? I'm in a Walmart, and I think I'm in Los Angeles. And I turn around, and there's the guy that invited me to Mexico. He's like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, whoa. I mean, of all places, he's there. I'm like, yeah, good. And I'm not sure. So somebody took a picture of us together, and we're kind of going over it. Is that same dude? Now, this guy kind of looks like Rick from The Walking Dead. He's kind of a tall, thin, long-haired guy. Okay, flash forward. I'm in Arizona. I'm in Arizona at a place called La Cotte, and it was a restaurant. He comes walking up, hey, man, how you doing? Okay. Why is this guy where I'm at in different parts of the world? I don't know. I'm constantly, now tonight, because I mentioned it, I'm looking over my shoulder constantly. So that probably, one of the most terrifying things that ever happened to me, which was absolute truth, wanted to chase me out of the paranormal. I saw too much, you know what I mean? It's like the ambulance driver on his first day that decides, hey, I don't want to do this because I've seen too much. So, yeah, that's I hope that was a story. I don't know. That's one of my creepiest ones. Bad the other time when I died, but I don't know, I got better.
Oh my goodness, that that's incredible. It just shows you, what I've said from the start, that most of the time, I'm more scared of the living than the dead. And this time around, you dealt with both, scary people and scary spirits too.
I like to think that we're all in this for a hobby, and it's all well and good. That situation, another place when time they made it to Ghost Adventures, when I got grabbed by my ankles and I cracked my head open. There's only 2 to 3 times that things have happened to me that makes me go, man, I got to raise kids, I got a life, I got to do things that's getting dangerous. Extreme paranormal, I'm going to leave that up to the 20-year-olds, I'm going to go ahead and stick to my regular comedy stuff, because extreme paranormal is fun, but when it comes to hanging yourself like off the bridge where a guy got hung or something like that, I'm going to leave that up to the younger guys these days. My
goodness, that's incredible. And that has to be one of the creepiest, not only location, but also experience you've ever had. And what is the one place that you would never, besides that one, never go back, in all the locations you've done through the years?
There's a place called the Zalbin House in Porterville. I ended up there just recently, but I was going to I wouldn't go back because I had a heart attack feeling in there. But I think it's going to be, and I can't go there anymore. There's two places. One is Wolf Manor, and the other one is the Linda Vista Hospital. Those are two places. Now, both of them are unavailable, of course, now. But I wouldn't even if I had the opportunity, I'm thinking it was too much for me. I mean, too much. Linda Vista Hospital in East LA was way too much. I did too much there. We did Carol Paparazzi Naked there. We did Paranormal Challenge there. We did Ghost Adventures there. We did a lot of shows there. It got to be where I was like, it was so weird leaving there, because I drive by myself, and I was driving my Jeep. I'd pull over on the side of the road and say, everybody get out, because it felt like my car was full of people, you know what I mean? And again, I'm not as sensitive or any of that, or maybe I am, I don't know, but it just, and when I get home, when I used to get home from those places, I'd be scared to walk in my own house because the lights were off. So that creepiness of being afraid, like your home is your sanctuary. That's where you never investigate there, but your home is your sanctuary. That's the place with the salt all the way around the outside and holy water coming from the faucets. You don't go in. You don't investigate. You don't bring anything there. But to those two places, when I walk in and I'm constantly looking over my shoulder, like I'm 10 years old and I just watched a scary movie. Yeah, those were the creepy ones. Wolf Manor, Linda Vista Hospital, and a couple other ones, but those affected me. I think it actually probably took years off my life because I was so terrified at stuff after I left the place.
Wow, that's amazing because it happens sometimes. You know, where you I was having a podcast yesterday with Samantha Oz and Tracy from Tap's Own Team. We're talking about sometimes investigations taking a big piece of you. Remember watching The Conjuring when Lauren Warren said, you know, that every investigation took a piece of her, and I believe that sometimes, you know, stuff when they get heavy, you leave so much energy there that it's pretty hard to, like the one I did last November, you know, Private Home, it took a big piece of me. It took me about 3 months to get back on my feet. Like you said, when you came back from Mexico, you were sick and you had a lot of things going on physically, you know, not just mentally, but it's crazy when you think about it. We're taking chances and we're playing with stuff that, you know, it's incredible. Scott?
Hey, there you are.
Okay, perfect, brother. Yeah, you know, also, you know, I know you've Wolf Manor. You told me about Linda Vista, but you've done also a lot of ghost towns in Arizona and Utah. Tell me about the feeling that you have when you spend a night in one of those ghost towns.
Okay, go in. When I went in like not in period clothing, but I went in as one of them. That's when we start using bells, candles, and compasses. We started a thing called Paranormal 1849, and what that was is when we go to these ghost towns, we would only bring equipment that they would have investigated when it was a thriving town, because believe it or not, they did investigations back then. It just was being just weird and strange, and even in Boston as witchcraft. But the fact is, a compass, a bell, and a candle are all around back then, you know. So it's one of the only locations I've ever had a bell ring. I've been using the bell for 30 years, 20-something years. And, you know, I use it for communications. If you're here, make the bell ring. Those older towns, like those ghost towns, they call them, those are the places where this bell would ring. If there's no wind, there's nobody touching the table or whatever. It was just sitting there, and we're talking and everything. Ding! That bell. Oh, there goes somebody just drove by my house really fast. Yeah, so seeing in those towns, the history is really rich. It's really kind of, again, these are places that are an honor to investigate. Not to the people that own it, not to the city that runs it, not to all the tour guides and all that. No, to the other side. Because back then it was helter-skelter. People lived to 40, and, I mean, there was a lot of people died. I mean, there was a show called... it was like A Million Ways to Die or something. And then they said people died from farting or whatever, and it was true. People died for the stupidest reasons, and that we were so curable now. So there's a lot of death there. Virginia City, especially, man, all the miners that died and all these things that happened there and gunfights and things. So when we go in there, we just kind of go in there, again, very respectful, tiptoeing in. And it's those places are a trip because it's like the upside down again. Let me use that term again. During the day, it's something, and at night, it's totally something else. You can feel it. At sundown, those ghost towns change. It's like it's their time. You get the day, and they get the night. they're around during the day a little bit, but you don't see them because you're doing your thing. But at night, they're there. It's their town, and you're just kind of hanging out and watching. So you'll get a lot of residual. You'll get a lot of them talking to each other, but not to you, because you're just kind of there like they are during the day. We don't look for ghosts during the day. Well, I do, but a lot of people don't. Well, at night, it's the other way around, and that's what those kind of places are like that.
That's so true, Scott. You know, that's something that I love to do, daytime investigations. But you're right, you know, for a ghost town, it's a totally different game.
It is. And it's and a lot of towns, you go to Columbia's a little town, oh God, it's so small. They don't even allow cars there. You have to be on a horse. You got to park outside the town and walk in.
Wow.
Because they don't have any. Tires have never hit that place, you know. If they had to fix something tall, which is never anything tall, they would build something to reach it. Those kind of places like that are restored. Not even, a lot of them are just kept up, not even restored. They're kept up because over there it's almost Amish-like, you know. Everybody just kind of lives there and takes care of the town. They got a little store and a bar or a saloon, and some stuff for tourists. But that's a cool town. But car tires have never hit those streets.
Wow. And that's the big difference between eastern United States and western part of the United States, you know, where you get those old towns. And there's been so much violence also when you go to places like in Wyoming or in Oklahoma where, you know, thousands of Native Americans were killed. You know, I investigated once, you know, a spot where a whole nation was killed, and the energy was absolutely amazing. You could feel the energy around you, and you could feel almost as if they were still there. And it's something that is totally different from investigating a house where two murders happened 100 years ago, when you're talking about people that lived on the land for maybe thousands of years before we came in, right?
Yeah, and it's true, because if you think of the Native American, the earth is their god, Mother Earth, and then the Great Spirit. So you figure, and probably if anybody Native American listen to me, like, he's got it wrong. But what I'm thinking is and the generations that are still around now, that were generations of those people, if the whole tribe wasn't obliterated or slaughtered, some people survived, and the Native American will still practice those teachings that were never written down, because they didn't have written word back then. The Native Americans didn't use that. And they still practice these things. So if you have a friend that is part of a tribe, and you're going to look at that place, and he uses eagle feathers and stuff to investigate with, that's a hit, you know. A lot of them don't look at the paranormal the same way we do. But they communicate with spirit. I had a friend, actually a sponsee, I'm an alcoholic, and I've been sober like 18 years, but I had a sponsee who was a Native American, and I went to a meeting one time. His name was Thunder, and I went to a meeting one time, and I said, hey, where's Thunder? Oh, he's walking with spirit. I go, okay, well, I'll see him when he gets back. And I realized that man, he died. Their terminology, I was taught by the Native Americans that all rivers lead to the same ocean. So when I talk to people that worship Allah, or they're Jewish, or they don't believe that Jesus has returned yet, all the different religions are out there, all lead to the same place when we die. So, I mean, I learned a lot of cool stuff from those people. And those are teachings that are hundreds, thousands of years old, you know. I love the Native American stuff.
I do too, Chris. And Scott, you know, thank you so much, brother, for your time, because, you know, the podcast will be put up on Halloween. So I'm very, very happy that we had a chance to talk tonight, and hopefully we can do one more before Salem to talk about Salem Con coming up in April. I know you'll be there.
I'll be there.
And I can't wait, you know, for us to do some more comedy.
I know, man. Well, thank you very much for this opportunity, man. Happy Halloween to everybody out there, and remember to investigate naked and send me all your footage. I've go over it 1,000 times, believe me, in my bathroom.
Oh my God! So, you know, if people didn't know you, brother, you know, they're missing out, because you're one of a kind.
Thank you, brother. You are too, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you so much, Scott. Have a great evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.